What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about KTA, Keeta, the Cheetah today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. So we got some news. Shout out to whoever it was in the comments that I was responding to last night that told me that Keeta was getting listed on LCX exchange today. Yes, I asked, is Keeta getting listed on LCX? Yes, Keeta is getting listed on LCX exchange. The listing was scheduled for today, March 27th. As announced by LCX, the Keeta Network KTA community voted to secure its listing on this regulated cryptocurrency exchange based in Liechtenstein. LCX highlighted KTA as a next generation layer 1 blockchain designed for speed, scale, and interoperability, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so yes, they're getting listed today, or probably getting listed today. If not, they're already listed. That's great. And something that I want to address before we really continue on is that an exchange listing is a bullish thing, right? Exchange listings are bullish if you maintain relevance, if you maintain popularity, if you have drive and you're building and you have a future in crypto, it's bullish because it's an on-ramp for people to invest in your project, right? Not everybody uses DEXs, not everybody knows how, although it's relatively simple. They don't use wallets outside of exchanges and stuff like that. Various reasons, even if they know how, it's less secure. It's always a gamble, but that's where you make the most gains, right? Is getting coins before they get listed on an exchange, right? And who knows, maybe this was LCX buying, maybe that's why we've pumped. I don't know. I think it was at a low market cap. It's a good project, and that's probably why it pumped, but maybe LCX was acquiring some here too. But it sounds to me as though the network voted, right? The community voted for this, so there's probably some tokens allocated on the side for exchange listings. I bet that they, like most cryptos, paid LCX exchange. They gave them tokens so that they could be listed. That's how it's done a lot of the times. And I want to talk about this real quick as to why not only is exchange listings bullish in the long term, but it's also very bearish in the short term. Most of the time, it's very bearish. And the bigger the exchange, the more bearish it is. And there's a couple aspects to this. I want to help connect some dots because people, this is my third bull cycle, and a lot of people seem to get confused. They think that exchange listings are these very bullish events. Once the exchange and it is, don't get me wrong, but once the exchange lists, it's going to go through the moon. But that's not the case, right? And it's a misinterpreted essence of the news, right? The news is oftentimes the most appropriate time to sell. Whenever you hear the news that it's getting listed on the exchange, like when it actually does list on the exchange, that's probably a good time to get out, and I'll explain why. So, whether the exchange down here is looking at this token and they're like, hey, we want to list this token, so I'm going to buy it up. There's buying pressure. Whether the community votes for it and they want to allocate some of their pre-allocated exchange listing set aside coins so they can get listed on an exchange, which is what I think KTA did. There's going to be insider information. There's still going to be people in the exchange or insider information from the exchange. There's going to be people with big money and insider knowledge who are trading this thing as well, who are making this go up. The exchange itself, they would rather list at a higher price than a lower price so that they can make money off of the listing as well, right? Whenever they have these tokens, they have their market makers doing work, and they can help manipulate the price to the upside too, or help generate growth in the price, however you want to phrase it. But one way or another, however it is, whether it's tokens are being allocated to the exchange or the exchange is acquiring tokens that they think are popular because they see that their community wants to trade these coins, so that's what they do, which doesn't happen too much nowadays. They're like, F you, pay me. If you're not paying me, if you're not giving me coins, you're not getting listed on my exchange, right? But there are coins that are very prominent that are in demand that they will just acquire anyways, if there is no like token allocation set aside for it. But that doesn't happen so often. So all I'm trying to say here is there's a bullish effect. There's a buying pressure that comes from the news of getting listed on the exchange, like the hype of the news, right? Once the news actually comes out that it's listed, though, that bullish buying pressure goes away. And think of it like this, right? If before you have the exchange buying you up or being given tokens and the market makers are helping the price go up, you have insiders buying this thing and helping the price go up because they know something before the masses do. What happens whenever that something that they know happens, right? Now everybody knows. And now it's at an inflated price. And now it's good for any early adopters, any people who were aware of this early on, anybody who got lucky, or the exchanges themselves if they were buying more to add to their books before the listing, which, by the way, whenever you list a coin, I would assume just logically that when you list a coin as an exchange, you probably feel like you've had your fill. You have enough. So then that's when you list. And once you've had enough, what happens? You're no longer acquiring the coin. There's no more insider buying. You have an evaporation of buying pressure. Okay, so that's a negative concept right there. Secondly, the exchange is now selling the token, because if you're buying from the exchange, they are selling to you. If you're buying it from the exchange, they're selling it to you, right? Connecting the dots is pretty easy to connect. So you've got not only an absence of buying pressure, but an an addition of selling pressure from the same entity that was pumping the price in the beginning. Now it's selling, right? Exchange listings are oftentimes long-term bullish if the coin is good, short-term bearish for this exact aspect. And this is why, I wasn't aware of the exchange listing itself, but the reason why I sold was because of this bearish divergence here, and because I thought that we would go higher, but we didn't go higher. We didn't get any volume coming in, right? This is the on deck screener here. If we look at this KTA, this one is the one with the most volume that I could find, right? 4 million here. That's the one with the most volume. It's on Aerodrome base. It's base network on Aerodrome, whatever. It didn't make sense to me that we were breaking out, but we didn't see any like really increased volume coming. I mean, yes, it was increased compared to a couple days, but it wasn't. If we look at the 4 hour, I think it's more obvious, right? We saw it here, and then we continued to run up, and nothing. So I sold half my KTA at 20 cents. I'm kind of debating on whether I should sell more now, but the only, and I'm not going to, but the only reason why is because I actually have this impression, this feeling that you could go below these lows here. And if you do go below these lows, what's stopping you? There's really nothing stopping you until you get to these areas or even these areas, right? And we're talking about a crazy drop with that, right? That's a 70% drop, 80% drop just from the current price, let alone from the high. I'm definitely trying to buy back into KTA. Selling at 20 cents here, buying back at 16 and a half. I mean, that's a nice discount, but I think we can get a nicer discount. You were very overbought in your RSI. You hit a 95. Lower highs in the RSI, higher highs in the price. It's bearish divergence. You're looking rather toppish, and you pumped a lot. Like, what's going to happen? I think gravity's going to take over. And until we cool off in the RSI, that's kind of the case that I'm believing, is that we'll go down below these lows. If we cool off in the RSI, if it's been some time and we're just consolidating up here, and we're doing something like that, and it's been some time, the RSI has cooled off, maybe it goes to the oversold zone or at least down to the 50, I might reconsider. I might have to buy back at these prices, even if I buy at slightly higher prices or lower prices, ideally. And I probably will buy some more once, if and when we go below 14 cents, I'll probably dip my toes in there. I'll probably buy some more if and when we go below 12 cents, right? I'll probably buy some in this little consolidation phase, but I'll save the majority of what I have on the side to buy this thing for, just in case we go all the way down here. And I will like double, triple down on my whole stack, and I definitely will. And if not, if we do happen to go back up to 20 cents, I might just say screw it and lay the hammer down. And I don't mean 20 cents right now. We could move up to 20 cents now. I don't know if I would be interested in buying, because that's still an area of resistance. We might just have a lower high here and continue to drop. I don't think that we're moving up yet, right? Again, if we just listed on an exchange, I'm assuming there's going to be some selling pressure, or at the very least an absence of buying pressure, and both of those together, which is really what I think is going to happen, will generate some negative price action, especially because it's happening today. So insiders, they sold already. Now the retail, or the people who bought the hype, the people who bought over here, they're going to probably see some price decay, and that's okay, right? I'm going to be riding a little bit of that decay as well. 50% of my stack, I feel like, no, I did buy it like 14 cents, so it's still in the green. That's kind of why I'm thinking I could sell here. But the reason why I'm not selling is, you never know, right? You just never know when you could be wrong. And I think at the market cap this thing has, it has a lot of potential. So we'll see how it goes. But not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If I'm looking to buy this thing, and I am looking to buy this thing, I'm not going to buy more here. I'm not selling here. I think the time to sell was up here, because now at 16 and a half cents, it could run up to 20 cents. It could run up to new highs still. Like, you don't know. So that's why I have that there, just in case. But I do assume to believe that it's going lower, right? We were getting overbought, bouncing off the 50, getting overbought, bouncing off the 50, getting overbought. Now we're bouncing off the 50, and we're rejecting the overbought zone, and we're going below the 50. Right, we're looking a little bit weaker now than we have. Volume didn't come into the upside. 15-minute time frame looks bearish. 1 hour time frame looks bearish. Yes, they both look bearish, actually. A lot of volume there to the downside. A little bit of volume here to the downside, although this hour is pumping up as well. We got about 15 minutes left in this hour, so it'll be interesting to see. But I'm not saying that we have to go lower. I'm just saying I'm not buying here. And where I will start buying is probably below 14 cents, and then I'll buy a little bit more at below 12 cents. And I'll let you guys know whenever I buy. I'll put it on x.com. And because I'm using DEXs to buy this thing, not exchanges, I can only do swaps. So I mean, I know there are some DEXs that allow you to do limits, but not all coins are allowed, are limit tradable on each DEX. Like, they have to have a little bit more development in there. And maybe this one does. Maybe on like Uniswap, I don't know. But I'm using Phantom Wallet, you know, just personally, and all I have access to is swaps. So if the price goes below 14 cents, I'm not buying there right away, right? I'm just, you know, if I happen to not be asleep and I look at the price and it's at a decent price, I will swap there. If I miss it, I miss it. You know what I mean? The sea is abundant with opportunities. So why get too stressed on this? But not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Looking at the daily RSI, we're pretty overbought. Likely we have to cool off. I'm not buying, regardless of the price. I'm not buying until I see this RSI cool off, maybe around the 50, at least around the 60. I want to see how you're interacting with this if you're at key areas for support on the price. And we'll go from there. I'll keep you guys updated on this thing. I might not talk about it every single day, but every other day at least, right? I'll keep it in the lists. And if there's something relevant, if we're going through key areas or things that I think are important to talk about, I'll talk about it. So I got nothing else for you guys. Until then, I'm honestly, I don't want to sound crazy bearish here, and maybe it's not crazy to people who are rationally minded, but we might be going to prices below 5 cents, guys. Might even go somewhere between 3.6, 5.6 cents, maybe even all the way down to prices below 3 cents. You're at 16.5 cents now, right? And I'm talking about buying below 12 cents and 10 cents, right? Like I'm just saying, if you think that I'm too bearish talking about buying at the lows of this range, of which we just rejected from a double top, and we had a really overbought RSI, we had bearish divergence, I think I'm being rather kind, just talking about buying up here, not even talking about buying down here, right? I'm saving a stack on the side because I think it will go down here, and I'm gonna load up, right? Oh yeah, that's one more thing that I wanted to do before ending the video. Just talking about prominent coins, right? Pepe is a pretty damn prominent coin, right? Meme coin or not, it's a pretty damn prominent coin. A lot of people are aware of this. Whenever this thing got listed, I got listed on Binance here, right? And Binance is a much bigger exchange, granted, but whenever it got listed on Binance, it dropped 81% from its high to low. It then dropped another 68% from there, right? It continued to run and it ran really well. It did well, but it had to consolidate first. We look at the daily RSI. We go back here. I just wonder what the RSI was. Let's see. I don't really wonder. It was overbought as hell. And when was it a good time to buy? Was it a good time to buy whenever it was at the 50? Maybe. You know, it was a much cheaper price. Sure. And that was at the relative area of consolidation here. But where did it really go all the way down to? It went. It actually kind of just found support in the middle of nowhere, and then you pumped, but then ultimately went down here right to your prior areas of resistance here. That's where you found support, right? Your RSI had to cool way the hell off, and until then, it's not that it has to, but until then, I'm not really in the buying mood for Keeta. It can go up to 20 cents, and maybe if it does go above 20 cents at this point, I'll actually sell. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll let you guys know of any buys or sells that I do. I've got nothing else for you. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye.